In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make a card using the beautiful new Topiary's tree die set from John Next Door, and I'm also going to include the brand new Sam's corners. When I actually did these originally, they were decollage corners, but when I did the packaging, I remembered that Sam had come up with the idea of them, so I really thought they should be called Sam's corners. So Sam's corners and the Topiary trees. So we're going to start with making a background using the decollage corners. So I've got a piece here of Essential card in coconut white from Crafts 2 or Craft Artist. And this is the outline die. So this is the outline rectangle from the 5-inch layering set from John Next Door. So I've already cut out in a nice dark brown the scalloped die as a background. And I'm now using the inner straight line die. So what I want to do first is just to tape that down on the outside. And then the decollage corners comes with 2 designs of corners. So you basically get all 4, and they are matching designs so that you can really build something a little bit different with them. So you can have opposing corners with 4 different looks. And I love this look. I think it's really beautiful. And again, if you want to see more ideas with this die, have a look on the Crafting with John Next Door and Crafts 2 book on Facebook, where the angels have made some beautiful samples using them. So I'm going to use the 2 largest dies, and to get these in place, I'm simply going to butt the edge of the die up against the 2 straight edges of the rectangle. So you can do this as a rectangle, square, hexagon, anything, and tape them down. So just simply tape that down. Then I'm going to take the other corner and put that in the opposing edge, and again up against the dies, and we're simply going to tape that down. What that does is it makes sure that that's in exactly the right place. It makes placing corners back in so much easier. So we're going to run that through our die cutting machine. So I'm simply going to run that through so that you can see what we actually get. Now I do have a piece already cut here, and what I've done is I've stuck the white onto the brown. So I'm simply going to take these out and I can show you how it comes out. So here we go. So this is cut. I'm going to peel my piece out. So my corner of one stayed in, one stayed out. But you can see here how it's cut, and the top one's cut, but for speed, I would just simply pop that on, do the same, and that will give us this piece. I then just pop the little pieces out of the corner die, which I've already done on 2 of them to make it a little bit speedier. So we have our 2 corners here, and we're going to drop those back in. And that just gives you this beautiful tracery pattern. And I don't know another way actually to get this. So we have that beautiful pattern all the way around, and it looks as if you've been really, really clever. So I'm just going to use a little bit of spray glue to adhere these, but you can use your glue glaze or you can use your fine glue applicator, whichever you are more comfortable with. But for videos and demos, I find a spray glue is a lot better. It's quicker. So all I do is drop these back in, and both of them are identical, so you don't need to know which one's which. So simply back into the space and back into the space, just like that. There we go. And that gives us that beautiful background. And I've got a card blank here that I've made. This is just a standard 5x7 card blank. So one of the easily commercially available ones or sizes. I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape on just to raise it up. And I've matted this with a little bit of the coconut white and a little bit of the field green, again from the Essentials card range. And I love the Essential card. It has a beautiful texture to it, but it's not too definitive, so it looks beautiful. So we just add that on, and there is our background made. So very simple, and again, it will work either way. You could have a simple sentiment in the middle of there. You could stamp something in there, it's beautiful. But we're going to add a topiary tree. So I'm going to slide that to one side, and now we're going to make our topiary tree. So I have two colours here of, again, the essential card. We have field and we have apple. So I'm going to cut the front from field. So the topiary tree die set has two topiary trees, a large and a small. And what I'm going to do is take the inside of the topiary tree, and you don't have to try and match this outline. This outline is just to give that sort of fuzzy edge to a topiary tree. So we simply tape that down, we run that through and we cut it, and we will get this. So with all the leaves showing through the middle, really simple. We simply then take the outline of the topiary tree, again, tape that down, and we cut that, which gives us the beautiful green outline. And all I want to do is, I don't do spray glue on this, I do use the fine glue applicator. And the reason is, I want it to be that little bit 3D. So I don't want it all completely flat stuck. So I'm just adding a few little drops of glue using my easy squeeze applicator. Not everywhere, just so that I get a little bit of definition on it. So in some places it's completely flat, but in others it isn't. And don't try and match this up. You can if you want to and find where it matches, but I love offsetting it so I get that little bit of green around the outside in the different colour. But you see, some are close, some aren't, so you get a little bit of shadowing. It looks more realistic. I'm then going to take the largest. You get two topiary tree elements, or sort of stems for them, and again you could use these as twigs. So I'm going to take the largest of those and the flower pot, and I've cut the largest from dark brown card, and I know this is going to be a struggle to see, so I'll put it on a white piece. You'll see how beautifully it fits with the French window set. I've then taken one of the flower pots, and I've cut this from a little bit of craft card, and I just want to 3D this. So I'm using VersaFine in Vintage Sepia and a finger dauber. Take my flower pot and just in the air, it's easier in the air holding it up rather than down flat, flick the edge of the dauber around the top of the pot. And then on one side, I usually do this right side, I want to make it heavier. So add the ink, a little bit lightly across the bottom, and then a little bit on the opposite side. And that gives us that beautiful shadowed look. And it really makes a die cut piece look as if it's 3D'd, when really we don't want it 3D'd, as we want to be able to send this through the post. So to put this together, I take my stem and again my fine tip glue applicator, because I don't want glue everywhere, and put a little few dots on the branches at the top. Just make sure I close that up. Okay. And I like to put this so that you can see the branches, because you would in some of them sometimes. So you've got the branch there. Then I'm going to turn that over, and I put it on a straight line on my board to help me. I then slide my pot in, and again that allows me to use a straight line to get that nice and straight. And I simply adhere this with a little bit of foam tape. There we go. On the pot. And I put a little bit of foam tape on the tree. And then we open that up. And I pop my tree bang in the middle. And you can see there we have that beautiful topiary tree just sort of sitting with the corners phrasing it. And you could add a sentiment, you could use one of the little cat dies that come within the topiary trees. So we could take a little cat die and have him sitting on there, or another one there. There's lots of different things you can use using the lantern. We could put the railings over. So there's lots of areas to play with in this set, but I wanted to show you the basics of making the tree.